Toy Story 4 is directed by Josh Cooley and stars Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, and Ann Potts. When Woody, Buzz, and the gang join Bonnie on a road trip with their new craft project turned toy Forky, the innocent little spork antics launch Woody on a wild quest. I love the original Toy Story trilogy, and I thought it was a perfect 3-movie arc, and I just was in love with those movies for such a long time, and when they announced a 4th movie, I was a bit iffy on it because it could ruin a perfectly good trilogy. It felt like it was just there to be making some money, and watching it back then, I was surprised at how much I really loved the film. And definitely over the years, I've seen more negative reviews pop up for the film, but whenever I rewatch it myself, I still can't help but have a really good time with it. While I don't think it is as good as the original trilogy, either of those films, there are definitely aspects that improved upon them, definitely, but I still don't think this film is anywhere near a bad film. I still think this movie is absolutely great, especially in terms of what it decides to do with the character of Woody. But to go on with my negatives, first, I think Buzz Lightyear, while can be funny and still a really likable character, his whole inner voice subplot feels a little bit weak. It just did not really do much for the character himself. And I'm glad that the 5th movie did a lot more interesting stuff with Buzz Lightyear that made him more engaging. But here, the inner voice thing, I understand the concept in paper and having Buzz be able to learn and trust himself and what's going on in his heart. It just did not really come across as engaging enough and just feels like a bit of a gimmick for the character. And there are some jokes that do miss for me. That essentially what's going to happen whenever you do comedy. Sometimes jokes will land, sometimes they will not. It just depends. But I think the movie's still, for the most part, really funny. Just there are some jokes that just do not work for me. And there are some moments where things can slow down a little bit too much, and I feel like the film could have fixed up the pacing a little bit. But other than that, I thought the rest of the film was really good, especially with the animation. The animation in this film is beautiful. It is incredible to compare this movie to the first movie and just see how far the technology has come. The textures, the way the toys look, while keeping with their original art style, they feel more real than ever. A lot of the lighting technique as well had to be praised here. The cinematography captures a lot of beautiful wide shots, especially of this circus setting that the toys find themselves in. It is absolutely beautiful, especially whenever we are in this antique store that houses our antagonist Gabby. In there are just a bunch of moments there, especially in that store, where the lighting just feels almost dreamlike, and the cinematography and how he uses depths of field whenever we are having close-up shots with our characters, or having the characters be the main focus, have the background being mainly blurred. It's just how they do this stuff just is staggering. This is by far, in my opinion, the best looking Pixar film ever in terms of its animation. But beautiful animation still has to come with really good storytelling. And I think Toy Story 4 does a really good job in that department, especially with the character of Woody here, who is slowly no longer becoming Bonnie's favorite toy, and especially a toy that she doesn't even care about all that much. But since his experiences in the previous film, he learned to take this kind of part of a toy's life a little better than when he first met Buzz. But he decides to make it his priority to make sure that Forky, this new character that Bonnie created out of a sport, to make sure that Forky is able to stay with Bonnie and make her happy, because that is a toy's life. But the movie then decides to turn on what we've known about the Toy Story films for a while in terms of their themes, where Woody always makes sure that he is making the right decisions for not only his friends but for himself, to be able to help make a child's life happy and being a toy for them. In this film, we explore what it means for toys' life as their own individual being, and the way they explore Woody's character with these themes and having him come to terms with who he is, what he can be as his own toy, is really interesting, especially when we bring in Bo Peep into the mix and she shows him this new world of kids that he could help in his own way. Is very interesting, because Bo Peep, who has now been a lost toy, is essentially trying to help other kids by just being there, helping toys be able to be their own individual and not just focus on just one individual kid, but be able to help a plethora of other kids out there, no matter who they are, without being confined to an owner, and be able to spread happiness and joy in that way. I think it was very interesting. In some ways, it does counter the themes of the original films, but also expanding on what they set up by countering what they have explored throughout, and introducing something new for Woody, as he is the character that is now losing a bit of a purpose and is having to learn what it means to be a toy that can be able to help and understand himself more, be his own individual. And I think the way they explored this aspect of the story and Woody's character was really engaging, and it made for a very emotional ending, to where Woody essentially has to choose between becoming Bonnie's toy that will be forgotten, or to be able to help out a plethora of other toys out there by sharing his experience, his wisdom, essentially mentoring and helping other toys be able to find their way and be able to still help make a child's life a little better, still be there for them in a different way. And I really like the way this movie was able to tackle this aspect of Woody's character that is an important core characteristic for him to make a child's life happy, to be a toy, and kind of switch things up while still keeping true to who Woody is as a character. That's all helped by Bo Peep, who is probably the best she has ever been in the Toy Story franchise. While she was a fun character in the first two films, she has a lot more meat in the bones to her character in this movie, and there's a lot more to digest with her, as she has experienced a lot, especially if you've seen the short film that goes through her life from being a kid's toy to a lost toy. When we meet her in this film, we essentially see a toy that has lived a crazy life, still is her happy self, but with a bit more of an edge to her, and has a bit more independence. And it's something that she's trying to instill and show Woody that he can be his own independent self, and how these two characters now banter with each other is different, because they have lived through so many different points in their lives that just change them fundamentally. So whenever they interact about something, it feels a lot more or less lovey-dovey like in the first two films, and more like, holy crap, we have been through so much, and I don't know, it feels like two old friends having to try and understand each other in a way that two old friends meeting each other after a long period of time, but because the passage of time has changed so much, a lot of their outlooks in life have drastically changed. And so it creates for a lot of interesting dialogue sequences where these characters have conflicting ideas, and especially with the antagonist trying to chase down our characters for something specific from Woody, it creates a lot of tension in the film, as well as not only as they're being chased, but Woody has to come to terms with who he wants to be. And speaking of the antagonist, Gabby is probably one of the most interesting in the entire Toy Story franchise, as she is a character that isn't really villainous, even if the movie does portray her like that at first. She is someone that does have a good intention and good motivation to do something helpful for a specific child. She is essentially what Woody could have been if he'd still stayed the same lost toy. But with Woody's characterization here, I like how the film was able to connect these two characters in a way that both pushed them forward in a positive direction. Because in many ways, these two characters mirror themselves, and their interactions, especially by the third act, were really engaging. And there is this monologue sequence that Woody gives to Gabby, to where after everything he's learned throughout the course of the film, he's able to instill that wisdom onto this toy. And for the first time, Woody actually feels like his own individual person that can push forward a new generation of toys that can help other kids. And I really like that kind of dynamic, that kind of storytelling that pushes our characters forward, and it made for a really emotional ending by the end that did get me tearing up quite a bit. Overall, Toy Story 4 I thought was a really good continuation of the original films. Is it perfect? No. There are some areas where it can be a bit slow, and Buzz Lightyear as a character is a bit underwritten, as well as some of the old characters. But new characters like Duke Kaboom, or these two characters played by Key and Peele, who are really funny in the film and have some of the best jokes. The animation, the character work for Woody and Peep, and how their dynamic has changed, our new antagonist, it all made for a really engaging Toy Story film that both counters and pushes forwards the themes of the original movies, keeping true to who these characters are and making us still feel empathy for our favorite classic characters. I'm gonna give Toy Story 4 an A-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.